Hello, everyone. I hope you all had a good lunch. So our next speaker, he runs a triathlon. You run, swim, and cycle. So I hope we're not exhausted at the end of this presentation because he's going to keep up. Please welcome Nikola.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nikola, as Roy already said. Today we are going to talk about one really specific headache. It's not headache from drinks from few nights before. It's going to be a Java headache. And first thing to say, I really love Java. And I'm developing in Java for already 11, 12 years. But sometimes it gives me quite a headache. First thing first, it's half-hour presentation. It's really hard to squeeze everything that I would like to show. So I would ask you just to keep all the questions and everything that you have for the end. And if there is no question and no time for questions, feel free to approach me after the presentation. So let's start. So I said that I love Java. Why do I love Java? Well, first thing is that Java is open source. Whoever is a developer knows what this means and what benefits from this are. Second thing is that Java has the whole landscape built around it, ecosystem, which helps you to literally from your idea to the implementation, you have more or less all the tools developed and ready. You just need to use them and put it in practice. Next thing is community. Java community is really big. I think really important for the programmers that are starting, also important for discussions and for igniting of new ideas for the language. It runs on Java virtual machines, so write your code once and run it wherever JVM is present. And last but not least, security. Java is built with security in its base, and that's one of the really important things about Java. But there are some things that I don't like about Java. Java, when you look at it, it's something like this. So it's teenage spirit in trapped in an old body. So it was, yes. So basically, Java started when at the period when applets were cool, and we were developing in applets, right? So now Java with a lot of new things that are coming in versions 11, 10 and 11, or how it goes now, 18.3, 18.9, brings a lot of new things. But the fact is that there is still that backward compatibility that is a good thing, but also on another side, it really drives you back in a speed of innovation. So yeah, in order to have a backward compatibility, you will not be able to follow up that fast as some programming language that starts with a green field. So let me tell you something about Kotlin. Kotlin, as you know, is, or maybe don't know, is developed by JetBrains. Whoever is using IntelliJ knows about JetBrains. Their idea was to develop a language that, their words, not mine, better than Java, and that has a better functionality than Java. They said they had a Scala, but Scala with compile time, it was not really the best option. And therefore, it was the idea also to create a programming language that compiles as fast as Java. Next thing, when Kotlin got a grip a little bit last year on I/O 2017, Google says, okay, Kotlin from now on is our first-class programming language. Since then, it gained a massive grip, and developers are starting more and more to develop in it. And important in runs. Yeah, of course, every programming language runs, it executes somewhere, but it runs on JVM, which is great thing, which means that basically you can have your Java project that you have now and start slowly converting it into Kotlin and just benefiting from the things that are there in Kotlin and not in Java. But enough about talk. Let's see what that Kotlin thing is all about. So I would like first to start with some basic syntax, then we will go into the symptoms of our Java headaches, and then we will take some multivitamins to keep our immune system even stronger so that we don't get headaches. So first thing first, as you can see, the class is basically the same as in Java. It's defined. Important thing, all classes are final in Kotlin, unless you say that it is open and then it can be extended and it's not final. Constructor, that is a little bit different story than in Java. It is defined with the keyword constructor. It is in the header of the class, and it has its own properties. Important thing is that with constructor, you don't have, if you don't have any modifiers for visibility of constructor or any annotations, you don't have to specify the keyword. So basically, this is also valid if I don't want to use any annotations, for instance. Next thing is immutability. Immutability is really important thing in Kotlin, and therefore your properties can be immutable or mutable. Immutable properties are basically defined with the keyword val, while mutable properties are defined with var. Next to it, functions are defined with the keyword fun. Yeah, so it is fun to write functions, and basically. Next thing that I would like to show you is one thing that really annoyed me when I started with Kotlin, and that is how do you make your instance? And that is, as you can see here, you get your instance without a keyword new. So all the time when I was starting with Kotlin, I was starting, yeah, I need a new instance, new, but now no need for a new keyword. Nice thing about Kotlin is named arguments. Name arguments are defined here. So basically, since we see that this parameter in constructor has its own default value, you can call constructor of basic syntax class with only one value, and other value will be changed with the default value of another property. Now, it is okay if you have only one, then you can do without named argument. It will be, he will know what it is all about. But if you have multiple default properties, then it is good to place named arguments just at least for readability. Okay, so those were some basic things about syntax. Next thing that I would like to go is into symptoms of your Java headache. So I would like to compare some things in Java and how they are solved in Kotlin. So when we talk about casting, this is a small thing, but sometimes it really annoys me, is basically we have a method here that takes an object, and if it is string, print the length of it. If it is not, just say it's not string. And if I want to access length of that property, I will go like object, and it would be nice if I would have length here as a property, right? Yeah, I have it. Oh, no. Let's take a look. That's IntelliJ trick. You don't have it. You need explicitly to cast it. So I'm like, why, if I already know that it is string, why do I need to cast it again? So yeah, that's not really that nice. In Kotlin, it goes a little bit different. Here I'm going to show you two things. First is string templates. String templates, that's something that we do have also in Java, but it's a little bit nastier than this one. Basically, with a symbol, $, you can access everything, every property that is available in that scope. So basically, if I say here any dot, and I need length, it's going to be just added there. There's no any casting needed in order to access the specific methods of that type. That is something that compiler does for you, because yeah, it's a little bit smarter and sees that basically this type, which is any, that's something like object in Java, but a little bit different, doesn't have some methods. So smarter casting. So that's one plus point for Kotlin. Okay, now domain classes. Domain classes is something that we use and basically that we have in every Java project, more or less. And if I want a domain class, I need to do all this. So I want these 4 fields, but in order to get a one class that will be representing the main object, I need all of this. And at the end, I finish off with 67 lines of code. And I was interested only in these 4 things here. So a lot of boilerplate code, really verbose. But how it goes, I will remove first this one. How it goes with Kotlin. Well, we already show how it looks like the definition of class. And if I do a print line, for instance, now of this instance that I created here, it will just do a print line of the, I don't know whether it will be, yes. It will be just regular two-string print line. Now, there is a really nice keyword in Kotlin that is data. What this tells to compiler, it tells this is data class. So I want you, next to the getters and setters that you are already creating for it, I want you to create also to override toString method. I want you to override equals and hash code method. Next to it, if I print now, again, the same instance, that is now data class, you get a nice toString. Also, there is one nice method that also this keyword provides, and that is copy method. So if I just take this instance, say, please copy that and change address to be Peter Pan land. And if I do print line again, it will copy whole properties, but it will change only one that I specified as a named argument. So really nice way to use your domain classes with only one line of code. So one line of code versus 65, I think that it's quite obvious. Now to that everlasting problem in Java, null pointer exception. So what happens here is basically we have a list that has a null element. We want to print its length. Bam, it goes, and it just dies after first iteration. And that's it. We have a null pointer exception. So many ways to introduce null pointing exception in Java. So Kotlin took that quite seriously, and there are a lot of things that can help you with null pointers. So first thing to start with is your properties can be nullable only if you say so. So this string is safe. It cannot be nullable. But if you define property like string with question mark, that means this property is nullable and null value can be assigned to it. So that is the first thing that in types in Kotlin, you have null safety already built in, if you specified it. Next to it, in order to fight the null pointers, you have safety calls. Safety calls are here. Like you can see, I have an instance. I'd have a call to the not safe property, and I need its length. But the thing is that it can be null, not safe. So I am introducing safety call here, which basically checks whether not safe is null before initializing length. And if it is null, then returns null value. As you can see, return type here is int nullable. But that is OK. But what if I'm not satisfied to get a nullable value back? I want to really have the proper way not to have, again, null in my code. So I will use so-called Elvis operator. Elvis operator is basically doing calculate the value on the left. If it is not null, return the value on the right. So now you see that return type is int. So basically, it's not nullable int. It is int, so regular int. So basically, you don't have a problem with null anymore, at least with this line. There are also ways to introduce null in Kotlin, of course, and that is this operator. If you use it, that means basically I don't care whether it is null or not. I just want to execute this method on this parameter. So whatever it is, just execute it. So yeah, that's like shooting yourself in the foot, but yeah, aim for the head, if you ask me, for this one. So that's one way to introduce null values into Kotlin. Null pointer exception, sorry. Thing that I really find nice in Kotlin is that if you have an array that can have nullable values, just do filter not null. From that moment, you're getting strings that are not nullable, and that's it. Really simple function that does its job. Next to it, there are save calls with inline function. Basically, you have save call here that will, how many times you have a situation that you said, if not null, then do this. So basically, this is same thing done here in one line of the code. If string is not null, then execute this function with value of the string will be available in the local variable it. So that one. And again, now watch this. We have check for the not save property. We have a check whether it is different than null, but we do want, again, length. But compiler is complaining. Well, why it is complaining, I just checked. Aren't you the smart compiler? What now? Yeah, the thing is that basically this value, in meantime, in theory, can be changed. So another thread can change this value. So basically, this time also compiler does its job and warns you, sorry, but you didn't do it in a proper way. Please do it with a save call and let method or whatever you need for execution of this logic. So that's regarding nulls and how to be saved from nulls in Kotlin. Next thing is Singleton. Singleton in Java, we all know how it works. We have a final instance. We need that instance, and we return that instance. Again, that is basically some 15 lines of code. In Kotlin, it's done quite easier. It is just defining of your object. Object is basically implementing singleton pattern. So whatever you place into the object, whichever method, you will be accessing it in the static singleton way. So quite easier and cleaner approach. So these are symptoms and how to cure them. Next to it, there are also some multivitamins, some things that Java doesn't have and that can improve your developed code. So let's go into that one. First thing that I would like to introduce to you is the extension functions. So how many times you saw a class and think, oh my God, it would be so awesome if it has just this function or that function. So in Kotlin, that is possible. So if I want string class to have a method that does whatever I want, so in my case, I want to get first 3 letters from some string, I will just extend the string class. And how do I do it? I say receiver on the left side is the class that I want to extend. I will say the name of my function, and I will provide the body of that function. In my case, it is expression function, just one line of code. I want to print first 3 letters of your string are this. This is a keyword with which you access to the provided parameter, and substring from 0 to 2 of your string, which means that I am able here, where I define some random text, which is basically string, I can call on it first 3 letters method, and it will be just executed, and it will give you back, yes, I left there the uncommented. It will give you back from a second run, probably. It will give you first 3 letters are sum, which is true. So next thing that I would like to show is, I said that it's easy to place in one code base Java and Kotlin classes. and I would like to show you how easy it is. So basically, this is a Java project originally, and to this same package, I added just class foo, which basically has its main method, and inside of that main method, we are just instantializing demo class that is coming from multivitamins Kotlin file, and it is just being instantialized, and we call its demo hello method. So basically, like you are accessing just whichever other Java class, there is no any difference in this use case. So when you run it, you will get the call, and you will get hello from Kotlin. Next thing that I would like to show is, I was always saying destructive, destructive behavior. No, destructuring behavior. Destructuring behavior in Kotlin, that means that if you have a data class next to the methods that I said that will be generated, there will be generated method component n. Component n will be representing for every property that there is in data class, there will be a component 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on method. These methods will be functions, will be used when you want to destructure the object. What that means? That means that if I create one object, but I need only some properties from it, or if method is returning some object, I need some properties from it, that means that I can define it like this. So with brackets, with name of properties, and just assign it. Basically, this object will be destructured and into these properties that were already available in this instance. So if I do print line of name and last name here, it will give us name is Nikola and last name is Lucic. So that is one use case, and another use case is, for instance, if we have something in the map, we have a map, we have keys and values inside of that map. We can also use the same structure to get access to keys and values and just print them out. Let's do that one. So, yeah, I should do a print line, but yes. Yes, key is there, value is there, and that's it. That's about the structuring behavior in Kotlin. Next thing is that I said about the lists, about the properties that can be immutable and mutable, but also all collections in Kotlin can be mutable or unmutable. That's defined. It basically, if I create a list of some properties, of some values, for instance, you will get a list that is immutable, which means that if I call add method, I will get nothing. So there is no add method on immutable collections, of course, but if I do change it into mutable list, yes, basically from that moment onwards, we have a method add on this collection. So immutability is quite seriously taken care of in the Kotlin itself. What I yet wanted to say, yeah, that's basically it. Ranges, yeah, that's basically ranges I showed already in one print line. So let me, yeah, conclude this live demo and go slowly back to the presentation itself. Yes, so next thing is how to start with learning of the Kotlin? Well, the thing that I would recommend you is just go and clone the Kotlin cones. If you clone Kotlin cones, you will have a nice, really way in IntelliJ to do cones where you basically will be true examples, and on the right side you will have the documentation and direct connection to your to Kotlin page where it is more in detail done documentation. So with this one, I think that this is the best way to start with learning of the Kotlin, and feel free to place it into your project. Yes, I forget one thing. Yes, let me go back. Just to show how simple it is to put it into your Java project. So all you need to do is, I have here Maven project. All you need to do is to put 2 dependencies on Kotlin, and next to it, of course, you need to put the Kotlin plugin that will compile your Kotlin classes. Also, it is important to place that compilation starts in phase before Java compile, so that when Java compile starts, you have Kotlin classes already available. Yeah, that is simple as that. Just small change in your POM, and from that moment on, you can use Kotlin as Java in your project. Yes. And to summarize, just use Kotlin. There's nothing more to say. I think that I showed here that there are a lot of benefits from using this new programming language that's coming from Greenfield, and it's basically developed for needs of developers, for current needs of developers. But also one important thing is that since I said curing of the headache, I need to give you a prescription, right? You come to get a prescription for your headache. So basically, I would ask you to take a look under your chairs. There is a glued. Nothing. Yeah, but to be honest, that was the initial idea. But first talk totally messed me up. So totally messed up my talk. So basically, there is nothing under your chairs. You're right. But I will give you one Kotlin setamol. So basically, Kotlin setamols are available on the bar itself, so you can pick it up. They are a little bit hidden so that no one sees it. And yes, there they are. So everyone gets one Kotlin setamol, and basically can use it multiple times a day, as much as you want. And there are some side effects, of course. You will get some kick-ass code and awesomeness. So basically, with that, I would like to finish this presentation. That's it.
So are there any questions maybe still?
No questions?
How to define a public static final string?
Public static final string. So yeah, basically you have in the object when you defined property, it is yes, how to define it? Because companion object, I cannot remember. Yes.
My question is, what is a companion object?
Yes.
What's the difference
Between
just object and companion object?
companion object. Statically initialized. Yes. Yeah.
Is there any
Streaming?
Yeah.
Yes, you have basically its own Kotlin implementation of for everything, for our collections.
Is it closer to Scala, you would say, or is it closer to what we see in Java 8?
It's something like Java, but a little bit better, let's say. Yes, I would say. Because Kotlin has its own streaming and all functions for collections, and generally it is better. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.